Hey everyone, welcome back to Saturday afternoon live stream. Today is September 6th. Let me double check that. September 6th, yep, 2025. And happy to have you all here. Hope you're all doing well. For those of you that have celebrated the U.S. Labor Day weekend last week, I hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. Got caught up around with a few things around the house. For those of you who don't observe it, hope you had a great weekend too, but hope everybody, like I said, got things caught up around the house, got some rest, and then obviously before the week starts again. So here we are. I didn't go live last week because of the U.S. Labor Day weekend holiday here. We did host a barbecue on Saturday afternoon, and I had thought about going live for maybe a short stream Saturday, but as it ends up, it turns out that Lisa did need my help in prepping. So yeah, so we did that. We had a good time. I had to put YouTube aside for the day and focus on the family and the personal things. So anyway, welcome everybody. If you're here, it looks like we have 7 people here already. Please say hello in the comments. We'll head over to the comments briefly in a brief moment. But I do want to go over a couple of things that we'll be talking about today. Just things that I've been busy doing in the last 2 weeks since the last stream. And if you've been following the streams, then it'll kind of be like a follow-up to what I've been talking about in the recent streams. So that'll be my notes are right here on the desk in front of me. And so we're going to cover a bunch of different things today. But first, let's go over to the comments and let's just see who's all here. So let me make sure this is on. Hold on one second. Yep. Okay. Welcome, David Grishko. Glad to have you here. First, as usual. And we also have Mr. Tim Tech in the house, ready and waiting. Good afternoon, Tony, and good afternoon to you, Tim, and to everyone in the live stream. So glad you were able to catch it live from the beginning, Tim. Thank you for being here. And David, thank you. Hello. Yes, you are here on time. And you made it, so welcome. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Morning, Jason. Thank you for being here. So I think pretty much covers everybody here so far that's choosing to chat. Good evening from South Africa. Well, good afternoon from North America. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So Irfan Sima, I hope I didn't butcher that too much, but glad to have you here, and hope you enjoy the stream. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. All right, so before I forget, first thing I want to talk about is the GWN7062Es that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. These guys right here. Tiny little all-in-one router Wi-Fi 6 device. Perfect, again, for a small studio apartment, maybe a really small boutique. Very simple, doesn't do VLANs or anything like that. But, and again, I don't know if Grandstream will offer that in a future software update for this, but in their current state, to my knowledge, they do not, as the last time I checked. But I have 2 of these guys, and Grandstream was kind enough to send me a second one so that I could do a meshing video between the 2 to show how simple it is to mesh these guys together. And part of the deal with Grandstream was that if they did send me the second one, I would go ahead and do a giveaway, which I have mentioned in past live streams. I finally decided today to bite the bullet and renew my subscription to Gleam.io, because Gleam.io is the best and easiest way, in my opinion, to pull off a live stream. So that said, I started the giveaway as of today, actually at midnight, 12 o'clock a.m. today, and it's going to run through September 26th, that's a Friday, 2025, until 11:59 p.m. Friday night. And then on Saturday, September 27th, we're going to do a live stream. And whether I do only the giveaway in that live stream or not, we're going to do a live stream on Saturday, September 27th, probably at 12:15 p.m. And we'll be giving away, we'll be picking, I have 2 devices, so we'll be picking 2 winners. Gleam.io will be picking the 2 winners and randomly, so it's fair for everybody. So just so you know, I'm going to put the link to the entry in the chat. Now, there are a couple of things about it. So trying to be fair to everyone. I know there are some YouTubers, link is in the chat. I know there are some YouTubers out there that just say doing US only, not doing international, sorry folks from everywhere else, but it's just going to be for people in the US. And my approach to it's a little bit different. I work in the international folks in such a way that I won't ship you the product if you win because of international shipping regulations and costs and pricing and things like that. But I will go ahead and give you a flat rate payout to a PayPal account in US dollars. So all that information is listed in the actual rules and regulations, which I will post a link to the rules and regulations as well. They're on my YouTube community page. Let me just grab that real quick. And the reason I do that is because I just don't want to say, right off the bat, cut off all international viewers, because I don't think that's fair. So, but then again, I do have to give these things away. The goal is to give them away, not to be just laying out money. So, but I want to make it fair for everyone who decides to enter. Let me just grab the link to my community page, or now they call it posts. And this way you guys can read through. There's also a link there to join as well. But let me copy this and put that in the chat as well. So there's also a link on the post to join, to enter, as well as all the rules and the breakdown and all the legal mumbo jumbo that is required by YouTube, their community guidelines, everything, in order to participate and make this a fair giveaway for everybody. Now, that said, after I created it, I tested it. I'll give you a little bit of a heads up. I'm only requiring you to put your name and your email address. That's it. I'm not doing any crazy things like go leave a comment or go watch a video on my TikTok or all the other ways that people do entries. I'm keeping it straightforward and simple. Just click the entry form, add your name, add your email address. It's got to be a valid email address. When I tested it, it makes you verify, and I didn't enable this, and I went through it a couple of times, and it's my first time using Gleam.io again in a couple of years. My last competition, they call them, or giveaway, was about 3 years ago, so I'm a little rusty in setting up the competitions. However, when you click on the link and you go to sign in, at least it made me, I only said email only, but it gave me a verification process of either logging into the email account and having it send a code, a verification code, so that it verifies it's truly a working email address, which isn't a bad thing, and or logging into your associated YouTube account. So in any event, it's an extra step. I was trying to eliminate it, but it just happened. So it is what it is. If you want to join the giveaway, that's the process. So, all right. So let's go back to the comments and see who all's here. Bill Brasky, welcome, Bill. First time, maybe not new to the channel, but first time I'm seeing you here on a live stream. So yay, thank you for being here. Bill says, what type of camera or what camera am I using? It looks great. The main camera here is a Sony FX30 with a Sony 15mm lens on it. So yeah, I got it about a year and a half ago. Been super happy with it. Prior to that camera, I was using a Canon SL3. That was my entry-level camera into YouTube. Other cameras that I have in the studio, it's not much of a scene, but the top-down camera is a Sony A600. The rear view camera is a PTZ Optics Move HD. It's the 1080 version of their latest optics camera. And then the side camera is also another PTZ Move HD camera. So those are the 4 camera angles I have in the studio. I can give you a glimpse of those, a little closer glimpse of those. Hold on a second. If I can get this to work for me now, I'll be happy sending an SRT feed over to a KiloView decoder so that I could walk around with the actual camera. So let me see if I can get this to work. It's been a little funky today, but we're going to try it now. Yeah, it's it just said connected. I guess I didn't wait long enough. Hold on a second. And once it connects, I'll show you what I'm talking about with the PTZ Optics cams. Come on. There we go. Okay. I will promise I'll try not to make you dizzy. Okay, so there's the PTZ Optics side that I'm using for side cam shots. And then there behind me is the other one set up on a tripod. Sorry for the shaking. Let me get back to the main cam. Oh, wait. And there's the Sony A600 top down. All right, I'm just going to leave this camera streaming for now because I do want to take you guys to the back eventually, but because it's part of what the update is all about today. So let's keep going through the comments. Great question, Bill. Thank you. Yep, Jason answered it for me. Thank you, Jason. There's the link for the GWN7062 router giveaway. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Community is important. We all try to support each other. So I'll give you a thumbs up, David. Thank you. And then here's the link to the actual community page, the post where you can not only see the entry link, but in the entire long YouTube guidelines. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Bill's saying thanks to Jason. My drink today, Tim, is honestly just a plain old glass of water. Without divulging into too much TMI, I do have a procedure on Monday coming up where, it's that when you hit that great old ripe age of, 50 plus, and I'm well beyond that. You have to go for a procedure every couple of years to make sure that you're you don't have any type. Well, I'm going for a colonoscopy on Monday, so starting later today and tomorrow, I got to go through all that prep stuff. So I just started early with doing the right thing. I'm just drinking water. So we got 14 people here. Just dropped to 10, but okay. Smash the like button for me. But normally, My drink is a glass of red wine, a 2-finger pour of whiskey in the wild, but sometimes just old, cool, sugar-free, what do you call that? That sugar-free drink, I can't think, Crystal Light. There you go. But today it's just water. That's a good question, Uro Solutions. I don't know what the shipping costs would be, so I played it safe for this one. But it's a great question. David, I have not had a problem with the Sony overheating in a live stream. I've done 2-hour live streams, 2.5-hour live streams. I've been in the studio for 8 hours at a clip with it on and never had a single issue with it. That's an A6000. Did I say? I didn't say A600, did I? That's the top-down camera's an A6000. Picked it up secondhand. It was a great purchase. I think I answered this question already. Oh, yes, had one, so best of luck for you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, they're not fun. The procedure's not bad. I don't know what they do over in the UK, but in the US, they put you to sleep. It's not the procedure, it's the preparation. Yep. And Jason confirms the Sony FXs don't ever overheat. They have fans in them. And yes, the top-down camera is an A6000. And I said A6. I said 600. Yeah. Listen, you gotta give the old guy a pass every once in a while. You know, it's funny. Sometimes I think I'm saying the right things, and then I'll go back and listen to his stream, or when I'm creating a video, and I'll play it back during editing and go, oh, now I got to pop up like a text on it saying correction instead of re-recording the whole thing. Just happens. Adding that little USB fan that goes into the screen opening keeps all my Sony ZV cameras. Cool. Very cool. All right. So that's the first thing. What did he say here? Oh, Jason says, I want the same camera, so I wanted to be sure I was getting same. You gave good advice on my FX30. So I appreciate that, Jason. Love that camera. Love that camera. All right. Well, let's see. Let's just keep entertaining the comments. Looking at the FX3, but I don't think if I should buy now, considering I'll probably get replaced by the FX3 too soon. Throwing a question out to you on that, Bill, because when I made the decision to buy the FX30, it was partially the cost difference between the two. In fact, let me see if I can pull them up on B&H. Let me bring this up here. And let's switch to here. All right. By the way, how's the audio? I know Bill commented on the video looking good, but is the audio sounding okay? Is it clipping? Is it too hot? Let me know. So the Sony FX30. Yeah, I mean, I think I paid around $1668 when I bought it a year and a half ago. So, you know, the price difference between the FX30 and the FX3 is considerably different. First of all, it's a full frame camera, but it's considerably more, right? See if we can go back here. This is a crop sensor. camera, so the FX30 that is. But listen, it depends what your use case is, to be honest with you. For what I'm doing here in the studio, it's more than enough. I don't need to invest in that extra cost of the FX3 unless I was out doing, professional video production on site, things like that. Then that's a completely different story. But for being stationary here in a YouTube studio, it's fabulous. They had me awake. We'll get it done in the U.S. next time, so I'm not awake. I'm not quite sure what that's in reference to, Tim. I'm sorry. Yep, they are full frame, which is why they are so pricey. Yep, 100% agree. The FX30 is awesome at 4K and does so well. Audio and video are good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tim says, as you know, Tony, always looking for a second camera. We'll look at the A6000 as your picture quality is fantastic. Audio is great right now. Well, keep in mind, Tim, that the A6000 is the top down. So if I cut to that real quick and I zoom out a little bit, I mean, that's a little bit more of a realistic picture quality. Now, there are quite a bit of shadows because of the way the light angles are hitting it, but it serves the purpose for when I have to do a top down. But I also have that side view for close-ups of the products as well. So, but yeah, I've been happy with the A6000. You can probably pick up, let's see. Yeah, so hold on a second. Let's go back to this. Looking at, well, here's one on a used one, which is what I picked up. I forget where I picked it up. I think Macari, believe it or not. But here's a used one on Adorama for $430 USD. I mean, let's see what Crutchfield is selling a new one for these days. Yeah, so it's an older camera, and back in the day that's a 6600. I don't think they have, no. Okay, I thought I saw it pop up, but it was misleading. So yeah, probably between $400 and $430 and $550, maybe $600 tops. Again, that's just the body. But if we looked on eBay, and did I not type? I don't want to sign in. There we go. Yeah, $362. This one is $600 with a 16 to 50 millimeter lens, so $420. So you get an idea. I guess the thing you want to be careful about is if you're getting them with the lenses, the condition of the glass, are there any scratches on the glass, things like that. I've had good success with buying used glass through B&H, believe it or not. Because they rate them, I think, on a scale of 1 to 10. I forgot. I don't know if they changed that or not, but they rate the lenses so you can tell based on the rating what you're going to be getting. And like I said, I haven't had any issues. I bought about 2 or 3 used lenses through B&H, so that might be something to check out as well. All right, let's keep going through the comments. Let me go back to that comment for a second. See if it makes sense to me now. Best of luck to you. Oh, they had me awake. We'll get it done. I get you now. Got you now. Okay, yeah, I just wasn't making the connection. And thank you, David Grishko. Yeah, FX30. Yep. Yeah, I popped into Jeremy's stream last night for probably a whole whopping 5 minutes, and then I watched the whole thing on replay today. I know he's working, which is probably why I don't see him here. But Terrell, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's see. I saw it go live, but I was busy streaming church. Also mold in the glass. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Let's move on. We'll go back to the comments as they come in. All right. So the first thing I did, well, one of the first things I did 2 weeks ago was I saw a video on YouTube by a guy named Robbie from over at NAS Compares. And every once in a while, I'll catch his videos. In fact, he's in my Fresh RSS feed. So when he does come out with something new, which is quite often, sometimes multiple videos a day, I'll try to catch one or two if the subject interests me. And he did one 2 weeks ago about breaking apart your NAS boxes and cleaning them out to keep them dust free from and prevent them from overheating. And I went, I always sign into my boxes and my NAS boxes, and they're always saying, your quality is healthy, it's good. And I never really thought to break it down break them down to the extreme that Robbie did. I mean, he literally took them completely apart. And I did. So I decided I need to do that, especially with my DS216, which is running quite a long time. It's running still well. It's maxed out at version DSM version 7.1. I can't get it to 7.2. It's just not there. But for what it's doing for me, it's still running well, although that's the second item on my list. So I decided to break them all down and clean them, and I recorded their thermal status temperature as well as the drive temperatures for each of the devices. I was going to make a chart and show you the difference comparison, but I thought, what the heck, I'll just read the original temps, and then we'll look at, see if the cleaning made any difference. Now, they've been running for about 2 weeks since I broke them down, cleaned them, and put them back together. I will say, out of the 4 boxes I have, the DS216 plus 2 was the filthiest, had the most dust in it. And it makes sense, it's the oldest. The DS920 had some, it wasn't bad. The DS1621, same thing. And the I didn't even bother breaking down the Ugreen NAS because it was just so new. So I gave it the eyeball once over, looking through the vents, and it looked kind of okay, so I didn't bother. And to be quite honest, by the time I broke down those 3 boxes, I did them all in the same day. I had enough of breaking down and cleaning NASs and putting them back together. So I'm going to bring up the DS216 plus 2. We'll look at that first because that's the smallest one. I'll be honest with you, 100% transparency here. I have not looked at the temps on these boxes since I cleaned them. So we're going to actually be doing that together. I'm seeing the results for the first time with you guys. So let me just bring up the control panel here, and then I'll switch screens. Okay, so if we go to the info center, and the thermal status on the DS216 plus 2 before I cleaned it clocked in at 108 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's at 106 degrees Fahrenheit. So Did it really make a difference there, or is it just that the temperature fluctuates a little bit? And for those, it's 41 degrees Celsius. If we go and we look at the drives, storage manager, and we look at the drives and we go to the health information, drive 1 before the cleaning clocked in at 90 degrees. So there's a considerable drop there, 27 degrees Celsius or 81 degrees Fahrenheit. So there I do see a difference. And drive 2 clocked in at 93 degrees Fahrenheit. And drive 2 is down to 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. So did cleaning the DS216 make a difference? Yeah, definitely. All right. Let me clock in now to the DS920. Where are you? And there we are. Let's get to the control panel. Info center. The DS920, the thermal status prior to cleaning was 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we go check it now, it's 113. So again, a two degree drop overall in the thermal status. Let's take a look at the drives. I got 4 drives in this unit. I hope this isn't boring. I just thought it would be good information to share if you haven't cleaned your drives or your NAS boxes. Might be time to do it if they've been running for quite a few years, especially in the environment. If your environment, varies, then you'll have more or less dust. But drive 1 clocked in at 86 degrees Fahrenheit before the cleaning. Oh, it's at 88. Check it out. So it went the other way. Drive 2 clocked in at 88 before the cleaning, and it's at 90. Check it out. This one went completely the opposite way. Drive 3 clocked in at 86 degrees, and it's at 88 degrees. That's interesting. Drive 4 clocked in at 86 degrees prior to the cleaning, and it's at 88. So each one was consistently, 2 degrees higher? The SSD drives both clocked in at 93 degrees prior to the cleaning, and they're at 97. I love it. All right, 97. So, however, I will say this. I do want to say this. I have put more workload on the DS920 Plus since cleaning them, because I'm considering retiring, not fully retiring, but taking the DS216 Plus 2 out of regular daily service and just using it as a backup device in an off-site location. So all of the services that I had running on the DS216 Plus 2 are now, I migrated everything over to the DS920. So it has, because I only used to use the DS920 for demonstrations and stuff, and I really wasn't putting that NAS to its use. So could the fact that I gave it extra things to do and extra services to run have a factor? Absolutely. So anyway, so that's the DS920 Plus. Let's see what the results are for the 1621 Plus, and then we'll move on. And we'll go back to the comments. All right, so prior to the cleaning, the DS1621 Plus clocked in, the thermal status clocked in at 113 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's 117. Interesting. Actually, I just realized something. In all fairness, this isn't legit, and I'll tell you why. I'll show you why real quick. Let me switch over. It just occurred to me. If you look to the back of the room, the door on the right, I have closed. Actually, I have 3 doors back there that are closed. The door on the right is my server closet. The door in the middle leads to my first floor, and the door on the left is the restroom. And when I close the door, and it's been closed now for about an hour and a half, when I close the door to the server room, it gets extremely warm in there. So I have a feeling that that's playing a bit of a role in the temps being up. So what I'm going to do, I'll run through the rest of the drives, but I think what I'm going to do is check them all when the room is at normal operating temperature. So anyway, just because, you know what, they shouldn't be higher, right? I mean, they should be lower, but it's hotter in that room. Okay, let's go through these quickly. Drives 1, 2, and 3, and 6 prior to the cleaning clocked in at 93 degrees, and I'm sure they're going to be hotter now because of what I just said. 97, so it's up 4. Drive 2, 97, it's up 4. Drive 3, 97, it's up 4. And drive 6, 95, it's up 2. Drive 4 clocked in originally at 95, and it's up to 97. And drive 5 clocked in originally at 91 degrees, and it's at 95 degrees. So what I will do is after that room cools down, maybe tomorrow, you know, later on after the live stream's over and I open it up, after it cools down, I'm going to go back in and I will record those in the chart just to compare, because they should have gone lower. Now, the DS216 plus 2 is on that workbench in the back because I've been working, like I said, I've been working on migrating it. And I migrated it from over to the DS920 plus, mainly using Hyper Backup, and I had snapshots and everything created, but I migrated all of my data over using Hyper Backup, which went extremely well. And as far as buying a new NAS, I'm up in the air, because I honestly don't know that I want to be locked. If I stay with Synology, then I'm locked into the hard drive issue. That's, you know, the big controversy the last month or two. So, you know, it would have been nice if I, you know, because I could have taken a new one and just taken the drives out of the old one and done the migration process. But now that's not exactly 100% the case anymore. There are migration with limitations. So it really is making me think. I've had so much success with the Ugreen NAS that I may consider that down the road. So anyway, let's go back to the comments. Terrell says refusing to use lenses for camera on things to watch out for. Yep. Cecil, like I said, Terrell, I've not had any issues with them, but again, for what I'm doing, it's fine. Again, if I was out doing professional photography or video production, you know, that's a totally different story. Cecil, welcome. Good afternoon. Thanks for your Grandstream videos. Have you done videos on OpenVPN and WireGuard on the Grandstream GWN7062E Wi-Fi? I've done OpenVPN videos, not on the GCC series, but yes, I have done WireGuard, recent WireGuard video on the GCC6010. So actually on the 6020, which basically the process, it's exactly the same. The UI is exactly the same. Happens to me all the time, my friend, especially with voice to texting on the iPhone. Drives me crazy. No, I don't know about that, Tim. I'm thinking it's more that I closed that room off, and it's hot in there. When I open that door up after a live stream, it's significantly warm in there. The reason I close it off, even though I know it's not good for the equipment, it's not like it's like that 24/7. It's like that for an hour and a half while I live stream. The reason I close it off is for the sound. I just don't want the sound. I want to minimize. That's why I close all 3 doors off. I just want to minimize the sound reflections in the room as much as I can. Talking of NASs, have you noticed that the Ugreen NAS pull in air from the back and out the front? Not really paid that close attention to it. I know they do have that big ass fan in the back for sure, but I never really paid attention to the airflow. I'm going to have to check that out now. Grish says, I got a Ugreen and put it off site. It's running Proxmox and it's perfect for $200. Okay. You got a good deal. You got a good deal. Are you using rsync for backup? Are you backing up to it? Are you using rsync, I guess, is what I'm saying? I am the same. I will try Ugreen next month or something else. Welcome, SB. Terrell, have you seen the prices on used Synology NAS are going up? Have you seen prices on used Synology NAS are going up? Go to the drive limits. I have not seen pricing on used Synologies. Let's go back to eBay. Synology, let's see, let's look at DS923 on eBay. Diskless, brand new, 1143, brand new, 917, brand new, brand new. This is an old. Let's look up 920. 925 plus Newegg. That's got to be diskless, I would imagine. Yeah, diskless, 707. The problem with the DS925 Plus is you're locked into using Synology drives. And they say they're going to, test and approve third-party drives, but right now the list is just Synology drives only. And David says he's using SyncThing for backup. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's see what we got going on. We got 14 people here, 10 likes. So we went through that. We talked about the migration to the from the DS216 Plus to the DS920 Plus. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the DS216 Plus and put it over at my sister's house. One of the reasons why I did the WireGuard site-to-site setup between here and her house. And I did a video on that. I have the GCC 6020 and she has the EdgeRouter X SFP. And I set up a WireGuard site-to-site between the two locations. And my plan is to put the DS216 Plus over in her location and use it as backup. And I'll probably just use, because they're both Synology boxes, I'll probably just use Hyper Backup. But yeah, I did do a video doing backup to the from the Ugreen to a Synology using rsync, and that worked out really well. That video is quite a few months old, though, maybe almost a year. All right. Going back to a topic that we talked about last week. Actually, anybody else in the comments? No. Okay. Going back to a topic from last week, we were talking about, or I was talking about rethinking my strategies as far as my power situation, my UPSs and things like that, because when I don't lose network very often, but when I do, it's usually the UPSs that end up, needing to be reset. And so what I've done is, and I talked about maybe looking at the Wattbox, but I have the Wattbox that I showed you last week. The let me look up Wattbox. So the watt box that I showed you last week was, well, that's on eBay, but let's look at for a new one. Hold on. Let me bring this up in a second. And if you're not familiar with what the watt boxes are, they're IP-based power conditioners that give you individual control of the actual individual outlets. So under IP power, let me switch over here. I was showing you this last week, but the retail price is up there. I don't know if VoIP Supply has them. Let me check. Let's see. Yeah, no, okay. I didn't think so. But the retail price is probably, I forget, I checked it out, between $800 and $1,000. And I was like, that's crazy. I have one. I have the 700, which is very similar. It's got the 12 individually controlled outlets. And I was just using it on the floor here to my left as really as a fancy, because when I first got it, I was learning about it. I was playing with it. So I just put it on the floor and I was learning how to program it, how to configure it. And it just basically became a fancy smart switch, you know. I was like, what a waste of all that money. So instead of buying, you know, a new UPS, what I did was, I'll take you in the back now. Hold on, let me switch mics. All right, let me grab this, see if it's still streaming. Yes. Guys, can you hear me okay with the wireless mic? Let me check that I have audio. Yep, I have audio. Okay, I'm going to go on the fact that you guys can hear me. Let's move to the back of the room. I'm going to go in the hot office now. And again, I'll try to keep it to a minimal movement. Oh yeah, it's definitely warm in here. Okay. What I did originally, at the bottom of the rack, by the way, I used to have the DS216 up next to the 1621 Plus, but it's out on the workbench now. I used to have two of the, on the bottom there, I have the CyberPower 1500 for this rack, but what I did was I took the watt, that's the watt box up on top, and you can mount it either with all the plugs facing forward or backwards. I decided to put them backwards because I just didn't want them facing forward and have all the plugs looping over the top to the front of the rack. Just a personal preference. So I ran everything from the rack into all of this stuff here that you see. I ran it into the watt box, and I'm running the watt box into the CyberPower. So that's how I condensed the power usage in the rack here. But the nice thing about it is it gives me complete control over every device in this rack from my cell phone, which is really, really cool. And I'll show you. We'll go into the control station or the oversee interface, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is my mess here. I've been busy testing things. There's the DS216 plus 2. I have the Grandstream hotel phone, the G11. I'm not quite sure exactly if I'm leaving out a letter. I have my Edge router, which I've been working on something with, testing something with that, my old 6P. This is my old GCC 6010, which I'm working on something right now. I'm working on a project. This is the GCC 6010 that was problematic at my customer's house and is still problematic. So I guess I'm going to be packaging it up and sending it back. And then this is an old Edge Router X. Again, I've been testing different things, which more to come in the future on all of that. So I've been kind of busy in the lab lately. Let's switch back to there. I don't need this anymore. Let's go back to here and switch mics. Okay, back on the studio mic. Let's go back real quick and look at the comments for a second. Yeah, I heard about that, Terrell. Terrell says there's a command line script that disables the drive checking to verify that they are Synology drives. I would use it at home, but maybe not in client devices. 100% correct. And I'm not 100% sure that, sorry, my mic got knocked off. There we go. I just noticed it was like all angled weird. The rubber supports that hold it in place are, I must have knocked them off when I moved it. Sorry for any additional noise you're hearing. Okay. I'm not sure if thought I heard, was it Robbie over at NAS Compares say that after an upgrade, a DSM upgrade, the script may no longer work or something to that effect. So it might not be a lasting solution kind of deal. But anyway, but thank you for sharing that. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's check. Let me go look in the back end of Gleam.io and see if we have any people, any entries in the giveaway. Got 4 entries so far. Okay, very good. Again, we're doing a giveaway on the GWN7062E Wi-Fi 6 routers. Shipping to the U.S. only. If it's a U.S. winner, international winners will receive a lump sum payout in U.S. dollars to PayPal. And there are links in the chat if you're joining later after I talked about the giveaway. The winners will be drawn on September 27th in a live stream. The giveaway will run. It will close on September 26th at midnight. And we'll be giving away 2 of the GWN7062E Wi-Fi 6 routers. Links to join the giveaway are in further up in the chat. So take your chances. You got nothing to lose. It doesn't cost you anything. All right. Something new to me, probably not new to most of you guys out there, that I started playing with also within the last 2 weeks is a program called, let me get it back up here, program called Rustdesk. Rustdeck. Okay. Let me actually type that up here. Okay. What I want to do is real quick come over to here. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see. Let me start a poll. Simple yes or no. Have you used Rustdesk? You can see what it says here for those of you who don't know what it is. Fast open source remote access and support software. So I've been using, over the years, I used things like AnyDesk. I used, for a while, I was using TeamViewer. Got away from that real quick. Lately, for the last 3 years, I've been using Zoho Assist, the free version. But I was curious about RustDesk and the fast open source remote access software and access and support software. If you download it, I believe, let's see. I know it's available for Windows, Mac, Linux, I believe iOS, and Google. But there's a look at it if you haven't seen it. I'm using it right now in my home to manage the multiple computers that I have, and it's working really, really well. I do have one of my clients that I'm been testing it out with also this week, and it's working well with him too. I can show it to you, but I just don't want to expose my ID. So let me connect. I'm going to connect to the computer behind me, the iMac that's over on the station there. All right, so it came up there. That's okay. I don't care if you see that. And I changed the password option instead of being random to just a permanent password. All right, and now you can see here that the screen resolution back there is way too big, right, for the window. But the neat thing about it is you got your tool palette up here, and I can change the resolution to scale adaptive, and now you can see my whole screen, right? So up here you see the shield, there's an X through it. That's because it's connecting internally here. I'm not connecting out through the RustDesk servers or my own hosted server, which I did set one up. Talk about that in a minute. My own self-hosted, but really neat. I mean, it's like I'm sitting at that computer. It's no issues whatsoever working with it. You got all your different options here. I did try the remote start device, and it works great. Again, you can change your options with your cursor, show the remote cursor, scaling, different input controls here. You can chat with the person on the other end or make a voice call, record. So for the cost, it's been working really, really well. I'm sure most of you are probably familiar with it. I did test. Right now, I'm just using the built-in RustDesks. I don't know why I keep saying rustic. I keep using RustDesks servers for connecting out of my house, but I don't want to set up a VM out on, like, say, DigitalOcean or Linode or anything and pay for it to have a server out there, because I'm not 100% sure yet that I'm going to keep it, but it's something I've been playing with, and it seems to be working pretty well. I did set up my own server internally here, my own self-hosted server on a VM in Ugreen. I mean, that process was easy. They supply all the instructions, so if you can copy and paste commands, you're good to go. And that's the kind of stuff I like. I had some issues even though the server was running, and I went into the software and I pointed RustDesk to my internal server. I don't know that I was getting the port forwarding options correct. But then as I was looking more through the site a few days later, to have self-hosting, it's one of the paid tiers, so maybe that's why I couldn't get the self-hosting to work. But getting it set up, installing the self-hosted server was super, super simple, and that's coming from me, guys. And when it comes to command line, I dabble, but I'm not by far a wizard with it. So Grish says he uses RustDesk all the time. Cool. You could set the scale adapter to be the default. Nice. Neat. I will have to give RustDesk a try. To be honest, I don't know how I found it. It probably came up in my fresh RSS feed, but I want to be honest and give credit where credit's due. Over the years, I probably heard Jeremy talk about it, because Jeremy likes to show a lot of the neat little utilities on his channel, and I might have heard it. It might have been buried in the past in my back of my head from hearing it on his channel. I really can't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it came from. And then I saw it, when I saw it again on Fresh RSS, I said, let me try it. But really, really cool. Works very, very well. Like I said, I've been using it with one of my remote customers, just using the RustDesk servers. I don't know why that's such a tongue twister for me. And it really is working well. Now, if you are, depending on what your threshold is for security, you might want to roll your own. But like I said, I think that's a tier you have to pay for. I put the link in the chat. I'm not sure if it went through. It should go through since I'm the owner, right? I'm the admin. So let me go up and let's take a look at the chat. So we got 4 votes only, and 4 votes. 75% of you say no, you haven't used RustDesk, and 25% of you say yes. We'll let the poll run a little bit more, and then we'll close it out, I guess, towards the end of the stream. All right. Just wanted to throw this out to you because we were talking about, Jeremy talked about a couple weeks ago, and then I followed up with it in my last stream. We were talking about the Keep Link, the real inexpensive, unmanaged 2.5 gig switches. Let me go back over to, let me bring this up here. Let's go up here. And let's go over here like that. So, what were they? Keep Link 2.5. There we go. So we got the Keep Link 8-port 2.5 gig switch, unmanaged Ethernet switch with 8 2.5 gig ports and 1 10 gig SFP slot, right? So $47. Here's one for $60, and looks like the same switch. So prices vary, right, a little bit. Now, as an alternative to that, if you don't mind spending a few bucks more and going with more of a name brand, the GWN7062E. Now they have a PoE version and a non-PoE version, and if you look at the 7721, it's MSRP $75, and it's got the 8 2.5 gig ports, and it's got the 2 SFP plus ports. So you're getting the extra SFP plus ports, plus you're getting the fact that it's managed instead of unmanaged, and you're getting a well-known manufacturer as well for a few bucks more. So I just wanted to throw that out. If you need to have PoE, the prices are a little bit more. same configuration, but you're at about $130 to have the PoE version. But I mean, if you're going to spend $60 for an unmanaged switch without PoE, for $15 more, you can get a name brand switch with the extra SFP Plus port. So I did want to share that with you. I should be getting my hands on one of those for review. I thought it would be here by now. It should be coming any day now. So wanted to throw that out for it to you as well. So yeah, Jeremy does a good job at advertising. Because I listen, I hear, and then I forget, and then I remember. So it's one of those things. Yep, not a bad price whatsoever. So let's see. We've been going for an hour and 8 minutes. I was going to talk a little bit about the GCC firmware beta that's out there now. But rather than go through it all, I mean, Willie did do a video on it, and he did a pretty in-depth video on it, so you could always go check out his video. Couple of things that stood out for me that are not in the original, that are not in the, the releases yet, the stable releases. And again, I don't want to go through it. I was going to go through it. It could take me a while to go through every single feature, but I'll just point out the key instead of taking you through the interface. They added file extension filtering, which is very, very cool. They added server certificates. They added VLAN capability to the static IP binding, which I definitely use. I have like 5 or 6 pages of static IP bindings in my GCC. Now I could also add the VLAN to what VLAN they're on as well, so that's really cool. But the biggie is that they added zero-tier support to the GCC, so that's huge. I played with it this week. I have it loaded on both of those boxes back there, while the one box is going back because it has that drop packet, that issue with the drop packets, the one it's running on my old GCC 6010, it's been stable ever since I uploaded it or I upgraded it, and I've been playing with the zero-tier config quite a bit. That's part of some of, like I told you earlier, some of the testing I've been doing. So instead of taking you through the interface and showing you, I'll just say go back and watch Willie's video if you want to actually see the features in the UI, because we are at an hour and 10 minutes, and I want to start wrapping this up. So Terrell's saying, again, not a bad price, and Mr. Tim Tech is saying, yeah, for the GWN7120P, that is. Yeah, it's not a bad price at all. So let's see. Let me plug the giveaway one more time before we close. Let's see if we have anybody else signed up. Yeah, we have 5 entries now. Okay, so in the next 2 weeks, hopefully we'll have quite a few people signed up, and we'll have a nice fun time on the September 27th live stream. I hope to go live next week. I probably will go live next week. The week after that, I will not be live on September 20th, but then I'll be back on the 27th to go live. And if I have nothing else to talk about, we'll at least do the giveaways. Last thing I want to talk about is the update to the deck project. This has nothing to do with technology. Since the last stream, nothing has happened except what I showed you. The bushes were all removed and the area was prepped for the start of construction. I did give the contractor a deposit for the materials, so that the only thing that really has happened, nothing I can show you, but the only progress we've made so far is that the first batch of materials have been ordered. Actually, all of the materials have been ordered, but they're going to be coming in 2 deliveries. The first delivery will be here on Tuesday, and he said he will be here to meet the truck, so make sure everything that he ordered was delivered and it was all the right stuff, and then he'll snap his lines and take his measurements and begin framing out the base. So that's exciting. That should be happening on Tuesday. I will take pics of the entire process to keep you guys updated in my weekly streams. But that's all we got going on for now. As far as videos, I got a couple of things in the works. I'm not going to give you too much now. Just keep your eyes peeled, and that's it. So remember, sign up for the actual giveaway. Hope to see you on my videos, and hope to see you next Saturday. And enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you all for being here. We still got 12 people here, 14 likes. I'm all caught up with the comments. So I'm going to say adios for now. Thanks again for joining. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, folks. See ya.